It's been a long time, been a long time. That song popped in my head. I'm trying to think of what it is. Yeah. I think it's a Kid Rock song. It's been a long time coming, and I finally broke. Cowboy.
Is that I'm a Cowboy?
Well, I think that's a different song. It's not the one I was originally singing, but let's go with it. Okay.
Oh, Kid Rock. What a douche.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Milwaukee Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
And I'm Ross.
It's been a little while since we've done one of these, so we are back. You wouldn't know because we've been releasing stuff every week, but we are back and we have got some stuff here tonight from a little brewery in the area called Raised Grain. So we've done a little bit from Raised Grain in the past. We won't dive into the brewery, but you saw us pour these out, and these are some unique barrel-aged options that you happened to pick up from them a few weeks ago.
Yeah, cool thing about Raised Grain, Tim Walker Show, for those that don't know, but when they do their releases, they don't tend to do where it's like, here's a stout, and then here's different variants of that stout. They tend to just do 4 or 5 different types of beers, which is really cool, and we were able to get these 2 a few weeks ago when we were over there, wherever it is.
Yeah.
I'm excited to try them, though.
Yeah, definitely. So first one we are diving into here is actually a Cabernet wine barrel-aged Belgian quad. So they call this one, what do they call it? They call it Trois Docteurs.
Yeah. And the reason the Docteur thing, I don't know if you guys know, the Raised Grain Brew is actually opened by 2 doctors. So they have a lot of doctor-themed names to some of their beers. So.
That's right, we talked about that. So this is a 2021 release actually that I think they still had on hand. Again, Cabernet wine barrel-aged Belgian quad. So I'm expecting a bit more character to this beer, a little bit more, the grain character to this, being a Belgian. Let's get a little nose on it and see what we think.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
You definitely get that grape that's coming out from the wine barrels. That's the first thing I'm getting.
Very fruity aroma on the nose. Almost an apple-y note
it's
is
not
what I
that
get.
dark fruit that we get a lot of times with barrel-aged beers. I think that, obviously with the Cabernet, I believe that's a white wine. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know.
We should have looked at
I'm
it.
not going to lie, I have no idea.
But
yeah, definitely the nose has got that apple fruity character to it right off the bat. And then I do get a little bit of that kind of malty, almost like the grain character on the nose a bit with it. But prominent is the fruit characters from the wine barrel aging for sure. But it's not like hot. Like I don't get like a heavy alcohol note on the nose at all.
So
smells good. Let's try it out.
Cheers.
Cheers. Interesting.
So for me, I'm getting that heavy fruit flavor that's coming forward, almost, in my opinion, to a fault. Not a lot else is really coming through for it. There's a little bit of clove there, but it's just really, really faint. They mentioned the taste notes, so there's banana in here. I'm not getting that at all.
I do get the banana a little bit. It's kind of actually the note that lingers for me is a little bit of banana, hiding behind kind of the apple characters on this. What's interesting to me, mouthfeel on this, you're getting about, it's pretty low on the mouthfeel side. It's a lighter beer. It's not heavy by any stretch of the imagination.
It's pretty carbonated. It doesn't look like it, but I'm getting a lot. I feel like I'm getting a lot of carbonation.
I'm not getting a lot. It does have I wonder if it's those wine characteristics. And maybe there's more carbonation happening here than I think maybe I give it credit for. But to your point, what hits you right off the bat is the fruit. What kind of comes in after that is kind of those darker malty kind of Belgian quad style notes, but not heavy. They're they're pretty faint. The fruity notes of the wine barrel really kind of bury that. It's there for sure, and it kicks up about midway through the palate, and then out the back, the fruit leaves, and then I do get a little bit of the banana characters that you described or that you mentioned are in this.
I will say when I took my first sip, I was not really enjoying it. The more I kind of take sips of it, and I appreciate the flavor notes are coming through a bit more. That fruitiness kind of dies down a bit. I'm also going to realize I think a Cabernet is red. I have no idea. I don't know why I said it to begin with, because now I'm just looking like an idiot.
Yeah,
that was really dumb.
No one's watching this to find out about wine. This is Milwaukee Beer Review.
But I guess most something's like pop over my head now as you do this. Whatever.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, end of the day though, it's good. It's not. I want a little more like that Belgian taste, like traditional Belgian coming out. I think we've had some beers on this channel that have been done in wine barrels. They're pretty hit or miss. I'm not gonna say this is a miss. I enjoy it. If I'm looking to score this one, I'm gonna be a little harsh because I want that Belgian. I'm gonna give it like a 3. I think it's tasty. I think it's good. It's not really my style. I would rather have a Belgian than something that has those wine characteristics coming out.
For a quad, it's thin. Like I'm expecting a little more oomph to this, a little bit more body to this. For a Belgian quad, I'm just not. What are you looking for?
I'm seeing the ABV. I don't think it's on here.
They might not publish it on there.
Fine.
That's fine. I mean, I still think it's a tasty beer, though. I'm going to go 3.5 on this. I actually like the fruit characters to it. I do think it's missing a lot of body. I do think it's missing that oomph that I expect from a Belgian quad. But I don't think it's a bad beer. And I do think that Cabernet note to this, it's almost like taking a bit of a weaker Belgian and splashing a little bit of wine in it. And I actually like it. I appreciate it for what it is. So I'll give it a 3.5.
All right. So next, we're moving on to what they're calling their 6 Stone. So this is a Scotch ale that's aged in bourbon barrels, and they actually use Elijah Craig barrels, which we've done a couple things on the channel already. And then Elijah Craig, so we're familiar with the aging process, we're not really familiar with the bourbon itself. But no, I don't think we've done too many Scotch ales either, if we've done any Scotch ales on the channel yet.
I don't believe so.
No, it's a pretty unique style. You don't see a lot of them. We were just talking right before we started on here. I can only think of a few off the top of my head that are true Scotch ales. But I'm excited because I do like them, but they're just hard to find. So
I feel like we should try some bourbon on this channel. But that's for another day.
Yeah.
Let's get a little nose on this bourbon barrel-aged Scotch ale in Elijah Craig bourbon barrels. Ooh. Very sweet bourbon note, almost fruity bourbon note.
Yeah.
I'm getting apple on this one too, actually.
Me too. I am too.
I mean, it's aged. What year is this one? This one?
I think this is this year as well. I think it's 2021, I believe. I don't know. These were just there when I went there.
Let's see. Oh, it says 2021. Well,
Okay.
the label says 2021.
So I'm sure it's 2021 then.
Yeah, I don't see a date anywhere else on the bottle, unfortunately. It doesn't smell bad. I'm not a Scotch ale guy, though, so I feel like I'm a little bit in the dark on this as to what I should be smelling. But I don't get really any of the underlying beer characteristics other than that.
Yeah, there's that fruity note, which I don't know, it's got a little apple tinge to it.
It looks a little thin, too. You can't really see that on the camera, but I can see through this pretty well, especially through like the sides of the glass. It's not thick.
Yeah, Scotch ales tend not to be. They're closer to a porter color, I would say.
I would expect that, right?
Yeah. So.
All right, well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah. Cheers.
Ooh. Ooh. There's some complexity there.
Yeah.
You know what finishes on it, and I'm starting with the finish, but it finishes with like almost like a toffee caramel out the back end to me.
Okay. I mean, I can't get past like that apple tint I'm getting on the nose. That's all I'm tasting as well for a reason. So
there is complexity to this. So light to medium body. Nothing crazy going on from that perspective. To your point, it actually hits almost sour fruit, like right off the front. But that kind of dies out mid-palate, and there's like a complex like note that kind of follows behind that turns into kind of like almost like a toffee-ish caramel sweetness out the back end of the beer that I actually really enjoy. It's harsh up front, though. Not harsh boozy, harsh just that fruit character, but it does finish really nice. I actually like the finish on it.
And I'll be, like, for me, when I have a Scotch ale, like, I want kind of that harshness, that booziness. Like, that's what I'm expecting. You tell me it's a Scotch ale that's been aged in bourbon barrels. I want that. I'm expecting that. I'm not really getting that with this. This is smooth.
Sure.
It's got some depth. It's got some different flavors going on, which is it's interesting. For me personally, though, it's just not hitting where I would want it personally. That's all. So.
That's fair. I'm actually a fan of this.
Okay.
I like it. I don't know if it's doing what it's supposed to do, but what it's doing, I actually do appreciate. If I'm putting this one in Untappd, I'm actually probably going to 3.75 on it. I actually like it that much. I think the way it finishes is good enough to put it there for me.
And my score is going to reflect kind of my expectations. I was hoping more for this. I'm going to go right with the last one. I'm going to give this one also a 3. I think they're both good. I think they're tasty. They're just, neither one really hits the mark of what I would want, where I was expecting the beers to hit. So
I think that's fair. All right. Well, you can't win them all. Neither of these are poorly scored, but neither of these really kind of hit those top tier beers that we've had. But if you find these at Raised Grain, I think they're worth a shot. If you like beers of this style, I think they're worth a shot as well. So check them out, and if you can find them, good for you.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks for checking out our video, folks. You can find us on the rest of our social media channels. We are on Facebook, we are on Untappd, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are here on YouTube. So like, comment, and subscribe. We've got tons more content coming where this came from. So appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in a future episode.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.